until it goes away. They try to chase after it, nip at its tail feathers. Now, here in Newfoundland, we tell it like it is. We saw them doing that, nipping at tail feathers. We don't call those birds the kittiwapes. We usually call them the ticklers. Nippers would be a good guess. Ticklers is even better, I think. Now, we're going to come up on a huge colony of black and white birds. But folks, these birds here on the rocks is this big cluster. They are not puffins. Okay, these are the common merns. They are a cousin to the puffin. They're kind of related. Listen close. They make quite a racket. You might just hear a high-pitched whistle in amongst all the murmuring. That whistle, that high-pitched amongst all that noise, that would be the mer's pitch. They have also started to hatch in the last few days. So these mers, they lay their eggs right on the rock face. That's why they're all bouncing on to us right now. Protecting their eggs, protecting their chicks. They lay a slightly triangular shaped egg, flat side but narrow to a point that helps them hold it onto the rock face. And they also stick their eggs on with a little bit of their own Gorilla Glue, their own glue. Right now, like I said, the mer chicks are starting to fledge. And the father usually gives it a little bit of a boot camp. Everything it needs to survive. So now, of course, we'll tell you all about the puffins. Look at it up on the grass. You see all those humps and bumps. All those little holes, those are all puffin burrows. And see two people pointing at that shack up there. It's not an Airbnb. You can't come out and spend it with the birds, I'm sorry. It's where the scientists stay. It's part of the birds. The researchers, the ornithologists studying the birds. They're the only people allowed out here on the island. All those gulls up there on the roof. They're standing guard, making sure nobody comes around who shouldn't. When they're on the rocks, you see that gull with the black wings? You just kind of take a little stick and perch there on the rocks. That black-backed gull is one of the main predators to the puffin. You get bald eagles out here as well, but those black-backed gulls could swallow a puffin whole if you wanted to. They found full beer cans in their stomachs. 5 pounds, 5 foot wingspan, very, very big seagulls. Now all the other gulls, the white and gray ones, they're more scavengers. They're pests. They steal your fries at McDonald's, right? Well, they're trying to steal fish from the poor little puffins. Another one of those black-backed gulls there on the rock. There's a little bit of steam. That's who the puffins are. They got all these little holes in the grass. Each and every one of those is a burrow. Each and every one of those is home to 3 puffins right now. 2 parents and a puffling. What a puffin chick is called a puffling. Isn't that cute? So they'll dig those burrows 3 to 5 feet into the side of the hill. Top it off with 2 chambers. One is the bathroom, very cleanly little beds. And the other one's the living room. So that's where they're going to lay their egg. Just 1 egg per year. And that's where the chick is going to stay all summer until it's ready to leave the burrow. All summer, the starting the burrow, going out to get eggs. And at the end of the season, the parents, they've done their job. They're going to abandon their chick and they're going to leave the island. A few days later, driven by hunger, not getting any deliveries anymore, the chick will also leave the island. It's then going to spend the first 3 to 4 years of its life entirely out on the open water. As for the parents, they're going to spend 8 months of every single year, all winter, out on the water as well. These are pelagic birds. They are seabirds. They'd rather be on the water. They're only here to breed. They're only here from May to September. Over the winter, they go out on the Atlantic, and they float. They might go a mile from shore, or they might go all the way over to Iceland, to Greenland, down along Maine. Wherever they go, they will come back each and every spring, come back to the same island, they'll live in the same burrow, and they'll meet up with the same mate. They are monogamous birds. They are mated for life, but they're only with their mate here on the island for those 4 months. When they're out on the water in the winter, they are solitary. When they're out on the water in the winter, they also don't have that orange bill that they're famous for. That beautiful bright orange is actually the puffin's breeding color. They shed a pigment layer of skin each and every year, so that bill turns a dull charcoal gray. Probably wouldn't even recognize it. So I'm going to let you listen in for a second. See if you can hear a puffin.
That's the other side. He's trying to fuck that water.
Alright guys, did anybody hear? Anybody hear a puffin? Anybody want to try to imitate one? Good job. They are quiet birds. They are almost completely silent. Actually, except when they're in their burrow. Make a rumbling noise. It kind of sounds like a chainsaw being started up. But everything you're hearing out here will be either the birds or the seagulls. I always say, folks, it's hard to imagine what over 1 million birds look like until you get an eye of it.
Oh, I know.
Yes, about 1.5 million birds call this island home. There's one bird with almost just as many of them as there are puffins, but you didn't see a single one of them today. It's called the Leach's storm petrel. They are nocturnal. They only come out at night to hunt. Right now, those petrels will be nestled up in the roots of the trees up there at the top of the island. Lots more kittiwakes down here, gorgeous folks. For any bird nerds on board, sometimes in this cove you can see razor-billed ox, the closest living descendant to a now extinct bird called the great auk. But it's absolutely beautiful out here. A couple of sea caves in there, all kinds of beautiful colors. Of course, the birds add their own touch, a little bit of liquid white for this cove. And when you get home, when you're bragging about your trip to Newfoundland, you're telling all your friends about the sail you had with gatheralls. You can tell them, look at this gorgeous photo that I took of Shittin' Rock Cove. You hear that whistle, folks? There's a merchick around. That high-pitched whistle noise. Right there, you hear it? The buckaroo. Oh, Jack was every inch a sailor, 5 and 20 years a whaler. Jack was every inch a sailor. He was born upon the bright blue sea. When Jack grew up to be a man, he went to Labrador. He fished in Indian Harbor where his father fished before. Upon returning in a fog he met a mighty gale, and Jack was swept into the sea and swallowed by a whale. Oh, Jack was every inch a sailor, 25 years a whaler. Jack was...
Siesta. Anyway, and they said, let us in, St. Peter. And St. Peter said, hang on, I gotta go get my notepad and check and see if you're on the list. And when he come back, he had a solemn face on him. Went down the stairs, into the furnace room, and he got the idea. He cranked the furnace on bust. 2 days later, he came back to check on the Newfoundlanders, and as he walked down those long hallways in hell, all the people in hell were saying to the devil, devil, can you turn down the heat? We can't stand it, devil. It's too shagging hot here, devil. Turn down the heat. And he just ignored him. He was on a mission. He was going to the Newfoundlanders room. And as he got down to where the Newfoundlanders room was, he could see smoke coming from under the door. And when he bust in this time, they were literally jumping up and down. Devil said, what are you so excited about, boys? Well, devil, hell froze, that means the Leafs won. I know, it's kind of lame, but I can't tell you any good ones.
Fine, Al just likes to talk. He's stuck in the wheelhouse there. But I got a couple names to call out here.
You got more than a couple up there.
Yeah. So guys, if I call out your name, I'll get you to come meet me behind the wheelhouse here. And for anyone who would like to watch, we're going to be doing a screeching just behind the wheelhouse. So I don't... Okay, for anybody who wants to watch, we're just behind the wheelhouse on the top step. Things you don't know what they mean. With this, I'm going to ask you a question and I'll give you the answer. The question is your screecher? The answer is see my hands on couple on your big tube drop. Got it? Okay, so here's your screecher.
Government says you must pack up and go. Well, the news it soon spread to the harbors and coasts that the young poverty and ports to go to Toronto, follow their goals, or to head to Placentia to live off the doles. They'd say out from St. Leonard's and out from Toslow, they steam across the bay with their houses in tow, but their